welcome to
Top 3 Disney.
Top 3 Disney.
Top 3 Disney.
Thank you. So today we're going to focus on restaurants that are in Walt Disney World theme parks. We already did one on resort restaurants, and we will put that link below and also put a link at the end of the video, and also counter service restaurants in the park. So we've done them all. We'll link all those for you. But today, in the park, sit down restaurants that you sit down, get a menu, order, and a server brings it to you. So we're going to start this video with a quick disclaimer. We are not food connoisseurs, so most of our reviews are based on...
Speak for yourself.
Except Matt. He is the master of elegant and fine dining. Anyway, most of our restaurant experiences are based on atmosphere and food that we like.
And free refills.
And free refills. Okay, so anyway.
And lots of food.
Good serving sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would like to go first?
Me.
Teddy just wants to get this done.
No, actually, I don't know if my list is very good. And of course, I am the food connoisseur. Third place for me is going to be sit-down reservation Rose and Crown in Epcot, England. I like the food, and if you can get lucky and actually get on, right on the sea, the lagoon. It's a cool vibe. Yeah, Rose and Crown, England.
Excellent.
I'll go next. My third choice is 50s Primetime Cafe in Hollywood Studios. Reason I picked that is it's a restaurant where the servers are basically your 1950s mom or dad when you're at the dinner table and you can't put your elbows on the table or you'll eat green beans. Basically, the food is great. It's just chicken. It's what he likes. Chicken, fries, ketchup, green beans. Just normal. But to me, it's not all about that. It's about having fun with your server. I purposely put elbows on the table all the time, and I get green beans and green bean dessert at the end with some whipped cream on it. All in all, it's a great experience. It's fun if you have a great server, it's a good laugh. So, yeah.
My number 3 favorite restaurant in the parks is the San Angel Inn in Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. Number 1, I'm a sucker for any kind of Mexican food. Anywhere you can sit down and get chips and salsa is A-okay in my books. I like the San Angel Inn versus La Hacienda because I love that the atmosphere, because it's inside the Aztec pyramid, but they make it like you're outside. You know, the ceilings are painted like nighttime. It's very low lighting. Great atmosphere, Mexican food, the little boat ride going by as you're eating, and margaritas. How about you, Shay Shay?
My number 3 is the Japanese steakhouse in Epcot in the Japan area. I haven't been there in a long time, but I remember that they had really good food. Plus, I like all the culture there, so yeah, Japanese steakhouse.
And it's like a show performed in front of you while they make your food. It's a good one. Excellent. Moving right along. Second place.
Number 2 for me will be what Tyson said, 50s Primetime. Such a fun place to be. A lot of great memories of, a lot of fun bringing Tyson's friends and all that kind of stuff. So food is great too. I think that's another cool place for, Michael Klesch and I often talk about going into the bar area just to order some onion rings. So it's a little, if one of us are there and the other one's not, and kind of happen to, sneak into 50s Primetime, the bar area, grab some onion rings, and send a picture to each other. Get very jealous and all that. But no, it's a great place. Fun for sure.
That's actually a really good bit of advice. If a restaurant has a bar in it, that's usually you can walk up, if there's room, you can sit there and actually order food from the restaurant, even if you don't have a reservation, so good advice there. Number 2?
My number 2 is Via Napoli in Italy, in Epcot. Probably the best Italian food I've ever eaten. Never been to Italy in real life, so it'll probably, once I go there, will probably change. But great food, great atmosphere, great pizza.
And guess what my number 2 is? Via Napoli.
Oh.
There are a lot of Italian restaurants on Disney property, a lot of them. We love Via Napoli. They have great Moscato, and you can't go wrong with Italian food. And the servers in that restaurant are always so good looking, men and women. There's just something about an Italian, and I love their
Their
accents.
accents are right.
I've been asked to be a server there many times.
You would fit right in. Yes. And yeah, their pizza ovens. They have these big brick ovens, and they wood fire their pizza, and it's just divine. Shaylin, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Be Our Guest Restaurant at Magic Kingdom. I went there last summer, so
Fresh on your mind.
it's fresh on my mind. That's what I'm trying to say. I love the atmosphere because Be Our Guest. Beauty and the Beast is a really good movie, so walking into the castle is super fun. The gray stuff is very delicious, so try it. So, yeah, Be Our Guest Restaurant. So.
We got lucky and was right next to the Rose one time, right?
We have sat in the room with the rose before, yeah.
The West Wing.
The West
I
Wing.
don't remember what type of food.
It's
they serve.
French-inspired cuisine, but
I had a
I
steak
mean
there.
it's an amusement park restaurant, so they usually have a pretty good selection of things
don't-
that anyone would
If
eat.
you don't remember the food, that means it's bad.
I haven't been there very much, so I don't remember that. But I remember we were in
The atmosphere
I do
there
remember
is
that one.
for sure, and you
That was
can
pretty
meet
cool.
the Beast when you're done eating. He
That's right.
greets
That's
guests
cool.
in his library, so it's a good little meet and greet as well.
And there's pictures of Beast.
And now comes the part of the video where we try to get Max to join us. But he's a cat. Sometimes he wants to, sometimes he doesn't. Hey Max, we're going to talk about our top choices.
number 1 for me, and it's really not even close. So this top 3 is like 3, 2, 1, wins by 10 points. And it's Via Napoli. I love that place. I want to get into it every single time. In the parks, you know, like what all these guys said, food is awesome. You can get anything really. The pizza, or I think I don't remember what I got last time, but we were at the marathon weekend, so like a lot of pasta, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love that place. I would, if we can go there every vacation, I'd be fine with that. So number 1, Via Napoli for me.
Good choice.
I'm actually the complete opposite. My choices are all like, there's
All
no,
the same.
all the same. It's really like every other restaurant park, right? Like Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and then Epcot. That's me.
That's true.
But my first one is the Chefs de France in France. Food there is amazing. Best French onion soup ever.
It's true.
It's great if you eat a late dinner. It's perfect. Or before fireworks, it's perfect to eat a great dinner, and then right after you eat, you watch a fireworks show. So I love that. So and that goes to every restaurant in Epcot. So overall, Epcot food all the way up there, and then every other parks.
It's interesting to me that my number 1 restaurant is not in Epcot because if you listen to us, most of our favorite restaurants are in Epcot. I mean, it's not only the food great, the restaurants are great, but the fact that they're in Epcot and you have all these different nationalities and opportunities to try different kinds of food, it's a really great place. But my number 1 is 50's Prime Time, which they've already talked about it, but I'm that person that I love being chosen to be in things. Like when the Streetmosphere actors want people to be a part of the show, like I'm that person. And so I love the interaction of 50s Primetime. I love the whole, I don't want to say atmosphere. It's like a show. Like you walk into a show and you're in a 50s kitchen and the servers are your parents or your brother or sister, and they talk snarky to you and they boss you around and they scold you if you're doing bad things. And we, like Matt said, we have so many memories there because we've gone there so many times. And because Tyson likes to play around with the servers and purposely do bad things, we've had some really funny situations. And quick story, the last time we were there, we actually had the same server that we had the year prior. And he kind of remembered us, and we absolutely remembered him because he was hilarious. And the server, his name is Luke Healy. Luke Healy happened to walk by when Matt was stealing whipped cream off of Shaylin's shake, which is another 50s Primetime, heck yes, are there shakes.
For shakes, right?
Yeah.
And so Luke Healy doesn't say a word, just comes back a while later with a whole can of whipped cream. And he gives Shaylin literally a cup of whipped cream and says, here, because your dad ate yours. And then he gives one to Matt, and then he tells Matt to put his hands out like this and proceeds to fill Matt's hands with whipped cream.
Ta-da!
Awesome. And, you know, they've made Tyson sing I'm a Little Teapot to nearby tables and put his nose against the wall. When he didn't eat his green beans, like Tyson mentioned, they put whipped cream on his green beans. I mean, it's just so much fun. If you go in there ready to play, they will play with you. And their food is incredible. I'm a big pot roast fan. I think every time I go in there, that's what I get. But like they mentioned, any food you get there is good. And it's just good old-fashioned Americana food. So if I could eat at 50s Primetime every trip, I'd be happy. Am I talking too long for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be done. Shaylin, what's your number one?
My number one is also 50s
Oh
Primetime.
my gosh.
I just like the food and the atmosphere and the servers playing around, so yeah.
Sorry, I like totally took everything out of that conversation. Didn't mean to steal that all from you. Anyway, so just a little other tidbit. If you want to eat at a restaurant within a Disney World park, you need to make reservations. Sometimes you can walk up and wait, but you don't want to take that risk. So,
Especially during Christmas.
yeah, and you could
I won't go to.
You can make reservations 180 days ahead of a trip, so make sure you do that. Okay, do we have any honorable mentions?
I mean, Les Cellier is great. I haven't been there in a while.
So Les Celliers is the steakhouse in Canada. I was going to mention Yak and Yeti, which is in Animal Kingdom. I've only eaten there once. It was so good and so freezing cold, which if you're there in the summer and you're at Animal Kingdom, that feels really, really good. Well, that's it. If you want to check out our other top 3 restaurants, we'll put some links, and there's also a counter service one, so enjoy. Bye.